Welcome guys to another episode on the Extra Mile. My name is Alex and look at the lovely little car that I've got for you today. The Lotus 49. Always a joy to drive this one. Always reminds me of the good old Grand Prix Legends days. Today I wanted to do another comparison episode between Assetto Corsa and Project Cars 2. But today we will do it a little bit different. First I will drive the car here in Assetto Corsa, and then I will make notes of the setup here in Assetto Corsa, and I will recreate that one-to-one or as good as I can in Project Cars 2. So we will have a shared setup between the two sims, and we can see if they will handle the same or at least similarly. Look at that lovely DFV V8 here in the back. Always cool to see the details here in Assetto Corsa. I love that. Those tires are actually quite huge. So yeah, we will start here in Assetto Corsa. I will set a few lap times, and then we will see how the same setup that is here in Assetto Corsa transferred to the car in Project Cars 2 compares in terms of handling and of course in terms of lap time. So without further ado, let's do this. Alright, here we are. Very good engine sound here in Assetto Corsa. Let's warm up the tires before we really give it everything. Oh, very good turn in. Controllable oversteer. I love how you can see the front suspension working there. Woohoo! Alright, easy. Come on. Wow. You really have to be awake to drive this one. Which is no surprise. Wow. Obviously, we have no downforce here in this car either. Just mechanical grip, very little weight. Really have to focus on the braking to not lock the tires up. Wow, what a car. So I'm slowly starting to get a feel for this one. Whoa! Brake! Try not to lock up the tires. It's very alive at the limit. You always have to be on edge here and have to be careful. Ah, that looks sweet. Woo! That was a pretty wild ride, actually. So I remember driving this car on the Nordschleife quite a while ago, actually, and I remembered it to be more stable, actually. You really had to be on edge here in every corner in this car. Had to be careful with your brake inputs, your throttle inputs, your steering inputs. This is obviously a very light car that has quite a lot of power, so that's not really surprising that it's a little bit tricky to handle. But yeah, this was a whole lot of work, so to speak, to get this car around a clean lap. But we managed one, and now we will try to replicate this setup in Project Cars 2. So here we are in Project Cars 2 with the same beautiful car. Lovely details here on the front end as well. As always, the rear end, where we don't really usually look in VR, has been reduced a little bit in terms of details, which probably makes sense for the frame rate, but we at least have our lovely DFV V8 here in the back. Nice details on the suspension. Yeah, so I have started with a loose setup here in Project Cars 2, and then I try to copy as many details from the Assetto Corsa setup as possible. However, two interesting things came to mind or became obvious right away. The setup options in Project Cars 2 are much more detailed than they are in Assetto Corsa. And the other point is, you not only do you have more values to adjust, you get actual metrics for these values to adjust, meaning you have Newton meters for the spring rates, you have angle for the toe angle. In Assetto Corsa you have generic values. You can adjust the toe angle between 1 and 30, but that does not mean angle, that's just a value, so to speak. So that made it a little bit harder to copy the setup from Assetto Corsa into this car, but I have copied most of the values that I wanted to. We have the same tire pressure, we have the same toe angles, the same caster, the same amount of fuel in the car, all the kind of stuff. So I've gotten this car as close to the setup in Assetto Corsa as I possibly could, and now we will see how that translates to the handling. It should be very similar, of course. So let's take our seat here. Lovely. Let's start the car. We probably don't have an electric starter here in the car in real life, but that's okay. Sounds great. Goes like hell. Oh yes. Sound is equally good, maybe a little bit better here in Project Cars 2. Oh yes, there's a little bit of that rotation that we had in Assetto Corsa as well. But at first glance, there seems to be a few differences. This seems to be a little bit easier to drive, which does not necessarily mean more or less realistic. It just seems to be a little bit easier to control. Let's see. Oh yes, brakes are better as well, I think. Braking distances seem to be shorter, and the braking itself seems to be more controllable. Oh man, listen to that. This left-hander here usually could not be taken at full throttle in Assetto Corsa because the car got unstable. but here it is no problem. You can stay on the throttle. To not lock up the brakes too. Whoa! Huge slide. Interesting. In the past few days, when I compared the GT40 and the beautiful 330 T4, it was Project Cars which had the much more tricky to handle car. Whoa! But in this case it seems to be the other way around. But let's come to the similarities. General handling balance is the same, meaning you can get the car to rotate on corner entry on the brake if you want to. Mid-corner balance is extremely neutral. You can get the car to oversteer on throttle if you want to. Gearing is the same. General speed, straight line speed seems to be the same. Steering seems to be the same in terms of how much steering lock you have to put in to get the car to move. Overall, there are more similarities than there are differences in the handling.